Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. It is Monday afternoon, 12:30. I hope you are all doing well. Before we chat about what's next for Leeds United and what I believe should and may and what not happen, if that even makes sense, I don't even think it does. What I believe might happen over the next week or so, we'll get into that. But before we do, I want to thank you all for continuously watching the channel. In the last 7 days, we've had over 100,000 views, which is absolutely amazing. So I just want to say from here to you, thank you so much. If you could all smash a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you are new, get your comments in, and of course, hit the notification bell. We are going to speak about a few players today. We're going to speak about Che Adams. We're going to speak about Kalimuendo. We're going to speak about Cody Gakpo, left back Philip Max, and of course, Leeds United's new goalkeeper, Joel Robles, which I expect and believe will be announced later on today, if not within the next 24 hours anyway. Remember as well, folks, that we do have a stream tonight, 9 o'clock, Premier League review. With the rest of the Premier League show gang, Locks, Corey, Oscar, Kendall, Matt, if he can make it. Probably will because Tottenham are smashing it. But it's been a great weekend. Great weekend in terms of content, in terms of results. So we'll go through the Premier League results tonight. But let's have a talk about everything that's concerning Leeds United. Just before we do, I just want to quickly tweet out that we're currently live so people are aware of the situation. Obviously, it takes a while for people to realise, and obviously it's Monday, people at work and all that sort of stuff. But there you go, we'll get that out. Danny says, how was your weekend? It was good, mate. Wall-to-wall football, wall-to-wall content, and Leeds United got 3 points. That's massive, innit? Snell's catching a live stream. Lee Marshall can see Kalimuendo coming in this week. I will give you my thoughts on that. Stephen says, a left-back, please. Great Leeds watch along, says Stephen Underwood. Thank you very much. I keep seeing your comments, Steve. It's IPTV, brother. You've just got to get on it, all right? Right, let's talk about first. Let's talk about the left back situation, as Stephen Scourfield says, a left backs, please. Look, the situation at Leeds United was this: Leeds United didn't want a left back, right? They didn't want a left back. That's reality. Regardless of us, fans believe they should, because we don't think Firpo's enough. And we had Leaf at the time, and none of us thought he was enough, even if he was going to stay around. Obviously, he's not stayed around, so he's not in the gaff anymore. He's currently at Ipswich. Broke a record, I think, for the most paid for a defender in League One at 1 million. There you go. So Leeds United never wanted a left back. The club and Jesse, whether or not it is really Jesse and more so the club, because the one thing I will say is that the same stuff we heard from Bielsa in terms of transfers, we're hearing the same stuff under Marsh. That is true, right? So whether or not it is really Jesse who says that he's the favoured number one left back and more so the club, they were happy to go into the season with just Firpo. Obviously, Firpo breaks down, and in Australia, Jesse says he wants a left back. Then comes back to England week before the season starts, has a meeting with Radvazani, and we hear, Strauch does all right there. And let's be honest, Strauch does do all right there. Strauch did do all right there at the weekend. Few, hairy moments where he overcommitted at one point and it got spun out to the right-hand side, I think to Neto at the time, or it might have been Hwang. But there was a few choice moments. But I thought in terms of effort and endeavour, like Strauch was immense on the weekend in that respect, but there is a drop-off in quality, a lack of quality, because he's not a left back, right? I think we would create so much more if we had a proper left back. Donny says Drama can play at left back. I don't want to see Cody Drama at left back. To be honest, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think he's ready to play right back in the Premier League. People disagree, but I wasn't actually impressed in pre-season, and I've seen him against Martinelli at Arsenal, against Arsenal at Ellen Road, and he got tortured. So that, I'd rather see Ayling ahead of Drama if, Christensen was ever get injured. But that's just my opinion, yeah? Alex mentions Leo Hjelde as well. He, again, is another option. And I agree with Snell that Strauch isn't quite quick enough. Yeah, isn't quite quick enough. And Philip, yes, he did do great at left back, but we have to remember that we can't let a couple performances shroud our judgment. Long term, we need a left back. true, right? Regardless of how well he's performed there, it's still a square peg in a round hole. And a lot of us don't want that. A lot of us didn't want it last season. We're still doing it this season. But if we talk about one of the left-backs that were linked to Leeds United, was, of course, Philip Max. Philip Max, currently at PSV, was someone Leeds United held an interest in and potentially looked at. Now, he was linked to Hoffenheim, but we know that just in the last 24 hours, Fabrizio Romano has come out and said that Angelino, who was at Leipzig and previously at City, has now signed for Hoffenheim. Okay, so there's an opportunity for Leeds if they are serious about a left-back. I'm not quite sure they are, and it's a big outlay for Philip Max because I believe that their normal left-back's injured and therefore they want to keep Philip Max in and around the squad. He's a bit of an assist machine. I think he would work well in our side. There are question marks over him defensively. It would be nice to find a full-back, a left-back that can go forward and can also do the same job going backwards. But yeah, Philip Max was an option, and you know he was linked to Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim have decided against bringing him back to the Bundesliga and have instead gone with Angelino. There was a lot of Leeds fans as well that would have liked Angelino, but he was well out of our price range for me. Well out of our price range. Of course, there's another left back that's been mentioned sparingly in the past. I've never really done a video on it because I haven't really seen any sort of credible sources, but obviously Leeds United tracked Croatian left back Borna Sosa. I think Man City and Chelsea have been credited with an interest in the past, but they seem to have cooled. Obviously, we know Chelsea have got Cucurella. I even believe Man City might be looking at Aitan Ure, who we came up against at the weekend at Wolves. So I think CBS journalist Ben Jacobs, who gets quite a lot right, if I'm honest, said both Chelsea and Manchester City looked at Borna Sosa, but decided against him. Look, he's 20 million. 20 million rated. I just don't see Leeds United going out and spending that. I think Philip Max is more of a likely option, more so than Borna Sosa. But again, I still think that might be pricey in terms of wage, etc. We have to sometimes sit back and be realistic and say, well, you know, we're already paying a lot for Junior Firpo. We paid a big transfer fee. We're paying him decent wages. So I can understand the club wanting to keep faith with him, but I still think we should get another addition there. Now, whether or not the club be willing to then go get a Philip Max or Borna Sosa, who's also going to command a big fee and then also wage on top of that, I don't think they will. Someone's mentioned Jamal Lewis in the chat as well. I think it wasn't he dropped from their Premier League squad. Was that last season? I don't know what's going on with Jamal Lewis. It would be someone I would look at. Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking him, to be fair. Obviously, previously at Norwich, did well there and then got moved to Newcastle. Signed a 5-year contract back in 2020. I think Leeds United should at least dip into the loan market. I don't understand why we don't move for Kennedy. I think Kennedy would be a viable option at Chelsea, potentially. I got laughed at on social media for suggesting the guy who's just left Arsenal to go to Lyon. Apparently had a fantastic debut over in France in Ligue 1. People were telling me he's worse than Firpo and stuff. I'm not too sure. I think we could, go and get a loan at least, I think. But I just think the club's rhetoric is they'll be happy to keep Pascal Struijk there. It means Pascal Struijk gets minutes because his minutes at centre-back may be few and far between. Nuno Tavares, Mohamed, that's it. I think Pascal's minutes at centre-back may be few and far between. We have to be realistic. I thought Coque and Llorente did well at the weekend, and when Cooper comes back, he's going to be there ahead of Struijk. I'd imagine Cooper probably comes straight into the side. I would prefer continuity. Sometimes Llorente is really good. Sometimes it's like Gattuso said. Sometimes maybe good. Sometimes maybe shit. That's the truth, right? So I could understand Cooper coming in there alongside Koch. I'd be okay with that. It just means Struijk's minutes at centre back maybe less. So I don't think the club will get a left back. Whether you agree with it or not, it is what it is. But they'll look at it and say, look, Pascal's done an adequate job there Firpo will be back soon. We've then got Leo Hjelde. I don't think they will move on a left back. But if they are, and they're serious about Philip Max, we should have free run at him now that Angelino has opted for Hoffenheim, which means they're no longer after Philip Max. So Leeds United could enter that race. Now, of course, the other area of contention for Leeds United, great point as well, Marshall, the forgotten man. Dallas is back at some point as well. Again, I still like a specialised left back, but if we aren't going to get one, then Dallas gives you 7 out of 10. Gives you 7 out of 10. Run his socks off. More than happy with him coming in after Firpo. And again, I keep forgetting that because he's injured, but that will be in the club's mind as well. You know, if they can get by on Firpo, Hjelde, Struijk till January, maybe Dallas is back. Boom. You know, in it comes. So, yeah, I agree with you as well, Glyn, in terms of this, but it is what it is. I don't think we're going to make that move. I think that's not going to happen. Now, the other area of contention is obviously the striking options. There are a number of names that have been linked throughout the window. We could go on forever linking them. I think what was key after Radrazani's interview when he mentioned about the cherry in the cake being Charles de Ketelaere, he mentioned about a 9/10. Yeah. Someone that can play up front on their own as a second striker, probably can play in the Ram and Lamb position as well. Someone that offers you a number of positions. CDK was that. They held out for that. Obviously, Martin Terrier, he's 25, probably no resale value. Leeds United look to have moved on from that. Someone who you could argue is pretty similar in what he gives you in terms of multifaceted, in terms of his positions, etc. Would be Cody Gakpo. Just bear me one moment there. Well, I put Nottingham Forest in there. Cody Gakpo can play, as we know, a number of positions. Can play on the left, can play off the right, and can play as a centre forward. I believe he was the Dutch Player of the Year last season. Currently playing his trade at PSV, and he's someone that can offer us a number of positions. He is only 23-year-old as well. Rated on Transfermarkt at about 27 million, but I think, you know, PSV want close to 40 million euros, which, if we convert that into pounds, is around about 34 million. Leeds United were willing to put about 30 million down for CDK. It's a little bit pricier than they probably would like, and they probably think that CDK is a better prospect, so I'm going to pay more for a Cody Gakpo. And the thing is with Cody Gakpo, as much as I would love him to come in the door, he's attracting big interest from elsewhere now. Nottingham Forest are touted with it. Nottingham Forest have got cash. Their owners are splashing it left, right, and centre. Obviously, they worked great in the week at the weekend against Newcastle. Were pretty toothless. They may probably want to spend more money to rectify that. I think they've done too much. I think it's too much overhaul, and they probably need to stop. That's just my opinion on that. It doesn't always work. But not only Nottingham Forest, Arsenal have been touted with an interest. And in the last 24 hours as well, Manchester United. We have to be realistic. If Arsenal and Manchester United are interested in him, we've got no chance. That's facts. As badly run as Manchester United are out right now, and as poor they are, he's going to go to Manchester United over Leeds United. It's facts. What you also have to throw into there as well is the fact that Ruud van Nistelrooy, who's currently manager of PSV, also managed him through the ranks at PSV. He has close links to Manchester United, you know, and apparently they're working on a deal. We know that Ten Hag was at Ajax. He'd have seen Gakpo regularly. He'll have seen him rise to the top of the Eredivisie. They wanted to get Anthony. I think Ajax want crazy money for Anthony, so maybe they're looking at Cody Gakpo. So look, if they enter the race, if Arsenal enter the race, if Nottingham Forest enter the race, Leeds United ain't going to be anywhere close to that. It's just a fact. Obviously, Dutch Footballer of the Year last season. He scored 21 goals in all competitions. He actually missed 12 games as well at the start of the season through injury, and still managed to come in with 21 goals. With Ajax demanding 80 million for Anthony, Gakpo half the price for Manchester United, it could be a decent move for them. I mean, they're moving mad. I mean, they've been linked to Marko Arnautovic. We'll speak about this tonight on the Premier League show at 9 o'clock, so make sure you join us for that. I'd like us to move for Cody Gakpo. Whether or not we will, I don't think we will. I just think we'll be priced out of it. And the thing is, like, and this brings us to the next person linked as well, is Kalimuendo. I think we've gone cold on Kalimuendo just because when we think about Radrazani's comments, right? You know, everyone takes something different from it, right? You can read into it different. It depends how you want to look at what he's saying. I read between the lines and took my own opinion from that conversation. But one of the key things that we can't dispute is that he mentioned a 9/10. Someone who can place him, you know, at multiple positions. Now, for me, although on Transfermarkt it does say he can play centre forward, off the wing, and as a second striker, Kalimuendo for me is off the shoulder. He's a number 9. He's not going to give you, I may be wrong, but he's not going to give you what Bamford gives you in terms of hold-up play and stuff. He's a guy that you try to get in behind. And I just think for what Leeds United want, I don't think that he's what they want. Now, of course, we heard over the weekend from 90 Minute that we were close to agreeing a deal. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I love the guys at 90 Minute and stuff, but I'm not too up on the transfer stories. I don't think they're that close to the ground, if I'm being honest. Right? That's just my opinion. But they're saying that we're continuing to push for him. An amount of around about 21 million could do the deal. We know that Galtier likes him. However, Campos wants him to move on. His game time is going to be limited. You've got Icardi, you've got Messi, you've got Neymar, you've got Mbappe. He's not going to play an awful lot. I think he played 6 minutes recently in one of the cups. Look, it's a deal that could be done as well. It's not pricey, is it? It's not Cody Gakpo at 40 million. It's not CDK at 30 million. It's 20 million. So if Leeds United surely were serious about Kalimuendo, the deal would already be done. I don't get why it would have taken this long. That's why when I see, and Alex, you're right. We've got to remember Rads has good links to PSG. Another reason why it would have already been done for me. Do you know what I mean? It'd have already been done. So I find that quite interesting. The fact that it's not, you know, if we look at the rest of our transfer dealings this summer have been quick. Bam, 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 bam. You know, if Radrazani had took his own advice and gone over to Bruges 19 days earlier to get the deal done, then maybe we would have got CDK. As it turns out, he was on holiday. It didn't happen. Ethan says, but Joel, that's because we were waiting on the CDK deal. Good point. That is a good point. That could be a reason, but I still think in his interview, Radrazani said, and Marsh said it as well in his press conference, that they believed the deal was dead weeks ago. They knew it was dead weeks ago. So at that point, and listen, you don't just chase one target at a time. They knew the deal was dead weeks ago. Although it wasn't official and they still waited there, they knew it was dead weeks ago. So surely they could have made moves at that point. I'd like Kalimuendo because I just want another option there. But in terms of what the club are looking for, is he that? Is he that, you know? I'm not too sure because, as I say, I think it'd have already been done. Everything would have... It's an easy deal to do. You know, they want to sell. He wants to leave. Yeah, I just think, yeah. Sean Healy, thank you for the super chat, says, I think we're getting no one in my opinion, sadly. I am of that thinking. But like people said, there is so long left in the window and a deal may present itself to Leeds United, at which point they will make it happen. I'm not saying that the club are not going to do anything. I just think they're being a bit risky. And if they feel they can get by, they will. However, if someone got on the phone call and said, listen, Cody Gakpo is available at a cut down price, the club won't say no to it. They're not daft, like in that respect. We've seen that with Dan James. He's available, right? We'll give you 25 million. We've tracked him for ages. We always want him. And Ryan, don't misconstrue this about me not being happy. I'm buzzing. We won. But this is what I'm saying. I don't want it to shroud everyone's judgment, because we still need to do more. It's wanting to take us further up that, right? Yeah, we want to continue to grow, right? So yeah, I think Kalimuendo, not for me. Now 99.9% of you think wouldn't work, but I think would, and I would love to give you a spoonful of "I told you so." Is Shea Adams? And look, Southampton are ready to sell. Russ says maybe it's been held up so PSG can get a replacement for Cali. Just to round off, no, that's not the case, because they've just bought Ekatike. They have Icardi, they have Messi, they have Neymar, they have Mbappe. They do not need replacement. They need to get players off the books. Yeah, it's Shea Adams. It is Shea Adams. Chelsea is bigger than United's coming in. He says Leeds will get relegated. I'll have that bet with you now. Leeds won't get relegated, but Chelsea will miss out on top four. Come back. Clip that up. Leeds United will stay up and Chelsea will miss out on top four. Remember, I told you that, okay? But yeah, 99.9% of people don't fancy Shea Adams. I do. I think he would work. Southampton are ready to sell. They're ready to sell. Ralph Hasenhüttl has said, you're free to leave this summer. I do not need you, okay? You are not in my plans. So he's available for a modest fee. On Transfermarkt, he's rated between 16 to 20 million. I think they paid close to 20 million for him. No, you wouldn't, Sean. Sean, you definitely wouldn't. You definitely wouldn't want James up top. You definitely wouldn't, bro. That's not true. That's not true. Surely, I'm telling you now that you're lying, bro. Like, thanks for the super chat. But anyone who said they'd rather Dan James up top than Shea Adams, nah, definitely, definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely not, bro. But listen, if that's your opinion, then fair enough. But that's crazy talk, as Tim says. Look, he's a Scottish international. He's been on Leeds' radar for some time. We know that Leeds United, when they like a player, they hone in on them. It's not just Bielsa that did that. Victor Rota did that. We tried to sign him for, don't forget, when we were in the Championship, we tried to sign him for £20 million, right, in January. And we wanted him as a replacement for Eddie Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah went back to Arsenal. Now, if you remember, we actually tried to sign Eddie Nketiah at the start of this window. We tried to sign him, but he decided to sign a new contract at Arsenal. Otherwise, you know, he'd already be a Leeds United player. That was the other club that were in for him. He decided to stay at Arsenal. So we wanted Eddie. We wanted Shea Adams to replace Eddie in the past. We didn't get Eddie this window. We need an option. Shea Adams can play off the left, can play off the right, and can play through the middle. You've got to remember as well, like, a lot of the time, so he's like I think him and Bamford would work really well. I think he would link the play fantastically well. He would bring others into play. I think people just look at a striker and think goals. Last season he had 23 starts. He got 7 goals and 3 assists. He's never been like massively, prolific in the Prem, but who is? I remember someone saying we need a 20-goal a season striker, and there was only 2 players in the there was only 2 players in the Premier League last season that got more than 20 goals, and that was Salah and Son, and they only got 23. So can you imagine how much they'd be in the market? I think this is very doable for Leeds United. Yeah. No, Sean, that's not true, bro. You haven't seen enough of Shea Adams if you think that Dan James is a better option than Shea Adams up front. It's crazy talk, bro. It's crazy talk. I think him and Bamford would be well. But let's say Bamford has to come off at something. You've got Shea. I think it's a great buy for me personally, and it'll be available at a cut down price. It'll be available at a cut down price. So I don't understand why everyone wouldn't be on board with it. You know, I genuinely am a bit perplexed as to why, because people go, no, this is the thought. We need better than Shea Adams. Well, how and why? I don't know. I'm just having a look at Dan James's stats. So 29 starts last season, 4 goals. Shea Adams 23 starts, 7 goals. So he got more goals than Dan James. So yeah, I think just to put that one to bed, Sean Healy, I think if you think Dan James is a better option, I think you're crazy. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think he would come in and prove a lot of people wrong. They're willing to let him leave for around about 15 million. It's within Leeds United's ballpark. It's a deal they like. It's a player they like. Why not take him off their hands? You know, he's not considered first choice at Southampton. I think Nottingham Forest are looking at him. They are looking at him. Steve Cooper wants him and wants to bring him to the City Ground. Obviously, is he from Yorkshire, Shea Adams? I know he started at Sheffield United. Is he actually from Yorkshire? Let's have a look. Where was he actually born? Oh, so he was born in Leicester. There you go. But he started, obviously, his main career at Sheffield United before he got a big money move to Birmingham. Did well at Birmingham, then gets his move to Southampton. He scored goals in the Premier League, you know. He scored goals in the Premier League. He would be very, very cheap. 15 million, 10 to 15 million, maybe 10 with some add-ons on top. Yeah, Sean, I think you're willing to die on that hill, bro, and that is totally fine. Totally fine. If you're willing to die on that hill, you die on that hill. But I guarantee you, if Shea Adams came in, he would prove you wrong. I think he would prove you wrong. Wool says we have 3 striking options: Joffrey, Rodrigo, and Bamford. I wouldn't really put down Rodrigo as a striker, though, for me. Yeah, Michael, they've already bought a striker in, and I don't think it works like that. Like, we're not then going, oh, here's some more money. You know, it's not as easy. This is what I mean. You need to remember where we are. I can get frustrated by it because it's like, it just brings me back to last season and other potential signings. Why should we, train Chelsea players up? Why should we do this? We're better than them? Be realistic. We finished 17th. 17th last season. 17th. And you've got a player there that's available between 10 to 15 million pounds that has scored goals in the Premier League. Not in like an out-and-out number 9 position either. Shea Adams hasn't been playing there. Stu says he's Scottish. No, but he wasn't born in Scotland, mate. Yeah. Birmingham. He might have a grandma or something. Like, you know how international football works. David said, Joffrey signed a new contract, needs more game time, must be getting frustrated. Bro, we've played 1 game. We've played 1 game. Joffrey will get game time this season. I just think, right, for me, other Premier League clubs will look at Shea Adams. If he's available for 15 million and Leeds United still hold an interest, then snap their hands off. Snap their hands off. I'd already be speaking to him. Like, what's it going to cost us in terms of your wage? Right, okay, he's not going to be on a massive wage. Right, okay, Southampton want you gone. Yeah, they've told me they don't need me anymore. In. Sakamoto Sensi says Shea Adams is garbage. A backwards step compared to Kalimuendo and Terrier. Right, Kalimuendo, none of us knew before this window started. Yeah, he done well in Lens. Could he come and work in the Premier League? Not sure. I'm not sure. You're not sure, are you? Terrier has had 1 good season. That's facts. Prior to that, he did not do well. He's had 1 good season. But it's because they're from the continent. They're from Ligue 1. They've got a nice name like Martin Terrier or Kalimuendo. But because it's Shea Adams who plays at Southampton, it is terrible. And this is so factually correct, it's unbelievable. Systematically, he is the best available. You could argue maybe Martin Terrier, but I think in terms of what he's been asked to do at Southampton would be similar to what you could get done at Leeds United. Yeah, but this is the thing, Sam B, right? What's Daka done in the Premier League? What's Daka done in the Premier League? Do you know? I'm gonna share something with you now. Let me have a look. So Locks obviously is a Leicester City fan. Yeah, Locks is a Leicester City fan. And after they got beat at the weekend, he was having a go at Brendan Rodgers, and he said he took him off and brought on a poor man Zambian Jamie Vardy. He's terrible. And that's from a Leicester fan. So I don't know. Like, I get it. I think Shea Adams would be, look, yeah, I will have lost a lot of people. I will have lost a lot of people. What do you mean? I said the same about Aronson. Oh, you mean it? Yeah. No, that's probably fair, bro. Yeah, Barry, you're probably bang on. Yeah, but Freddie Mac, like, right. Freddie Mac, where do you get that, right? Just genuine question. Who's that player? Who's that player? Right, I'm gonna go through the Premier League scorers last season and tell you who scored 15 goals in the Premier League. Right? Goals last season. Okay, are you ready for this? Jamie Vardy, Diego Jota, Kevin De Bruyne all got 15. Mane got 16. Harry Kane, 17. Cristiano Ronaldo, 18. Son and Salah, 23. If you think Leeds United can go out and sign a striker that gives you that for the ballparks that we're in, then you need to be a director of football. And that's not me digging anyone out. I just think people will go like, we just need a 20 goal. It was 20 goal a season striker the other day. Now it's 15. But you look at the Premier League, it is rock hard to score goals in this league. Like, rock hard. Like, I'll give you players that have scored 10, right? 11, yeah? So, Ollie Watkins. How much would Ollie Watkins cost you? Shea Adams ain't too bad. Rafinha, 11. Pookie, 11. Mahrez, 11. Bukayo Saka, Mason Mount, even Tony, James Maddison, Gerard Bowen, Raheem Sterling, Wilfried Zaha. Like, where Leeds United aren't moving in them circles. We aren't moving in them circles. It's quite mad to like Harvey Barnes. Everyone would love Harvey Barnes. Love him. He got 6 goals. Callum Wilson, absolute lethal finisher, 8. You know, they're hard to buy, you know. Bernardo Silva, 8. Gabriel Jesus at City, 8. No, and you make a good point. Most of them are strikers, but it just further proves my point for me, that further proves my point. And it's like, look at Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck, yeah, I'm just looking at Danny Welbeck got 6 goals last season. Look at Danny Welbeck's performance yesterday against Manchester United. He was lethal. He terrorised Maguire and Martinez. Terrorised them. Man of the match for me if Pascal Gross don't get 2 goals. And my man scored 6. You know? So like Shea Adams, if you look at his goals last season, he got 7 goals in the Premier League. And players that got 7 goals last season, you know. So he's in there with Johan Visser at Brentford, Rodri at City, Martin Odegaard at Arsenal, Danny Ings got 7 at Villa. You'd all snap your hands off at Danny Ings. I just think it's Shea Adams, no, not a chance. These these players that sometimes it's just about hang on, just take a step back. I think, yeah, right. So Sean Healy, you want Emmanuel Dennis. You want Emmanuel Dennis, right? And everyone keeps mentioning Emmanuel Dennis because he started the season like a house on fire, didn't he? And then fell off a cliff. Let's have a look. See what my man did last season. I just where is it? One sec. It's not letting me search for it. There you go. Emmanuel Dennis. Okay, so you got 10 goals last season, Emmanuel Dennis. Which is a decent return. When did he score them goals? Because he fell off a cliff. Listen, and this is the thing as well, what you have to remember, John, like, he's going to cost big money. He's going to cost big money. You know, he's going to cost big money. And I don't think he can be relied upon, really, personally. Yeah, and he played 30 games. 30 games last season. 30 games. 3 more than Shea, who played 23 games. That's something to factor in as well. So we'll look at the number of minutes. Yeah. Put like 500 more minutes than him. I don't know. And it's just a fraction. It's just a fraction. Yeah, Shea Adams has got assists as well, you know. Sean Healy says you need to spend big money to compete. That's a fallacy. That's not true. That's not true, is it? That's not true. Because if you look at how much did Lukaku pay for Chelsea? Yeah, it's not true. How much did Leeds United play for Dan James and Rodrigo? Yeah, our best player cost us 17 million. So I don't think that's true. You don't have to spend big money. But Tommy Darko, that's not a problem though, is it? That's not a problem though. It's nice to have that option. They could play together as well. You know. So yeah, Holy Ghost, this is a good point about resale value and stuff. I understand, but at 10 to 15 million pound, it's a deal you can do. It's a deal you can do, and I think the club will look at it if the option's there. I do think they'll look at it if the option's there. But people disagree with me. Sakamoto says, Joe, if you had the choice between Kalimuendo or Adams in tomorrow, who would you choose? I'm going to lie to you. Like, I would like Kalimuendo just because of age profile, bringing him in, the potential for growth, all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I am just trying to change people's mind on Shea Adams, though, because I think Leeds United won't do Kalimuendo. But I think they might do Shea Adams because he's available. You know, and that's a good point as well. This is what I'm saying. Not that one. This one here. No, not that one. This one. You know, looks a snip. Yes, my guy. Let me ask my good friend Sean, would you be up for Shea Adams at 10 to 15 million pound? This is my guy who I go to the games with. Yeah, it's a good point from Sam B. You know, we'll make the 10 to 15 million. I'm not sure though, Jamie, would he? Because what kind of fee would he command? What did Emmanuel Dennis cost? What did Emmanuel Dennis actually cost Watford? Let's have a look. You're 3.6 million, you know. And that's good. That's resale value for them. That's resale value for them. There you go, Barry. See, and I spoke to. I know. Cage is not a fan of Shay Adams. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but like I spoke to Connor, and Connor's a fan of Shay Adams. Connor would be on board with it. You know, there's a few people that are and others aren't, but I think a lot of that's just because it's Shay Adams. You know, or we can do better than Shay Adams. And give me better then. Do you know what I mean? We've been speaking for 40 minutes. I feel like I'm sticking my neck out on Shay Adams here. Listen, all I'll say to you is I was right on Conor Gallagher, weren't I? I was right on Conor Gallagher. If I could go back to that video now and just see all them comments coming in, I would. But I was right. I'm not right all the time. I do get things wrong. But yeah, Castellanos has gone, bro. We were never in for Castellanos, but he's gone, hasn't he? He's gone to Girona, I think, in Spain. My good friend said, I'd take him, mate. He's definitely a good addition to the side. Fairly light in that area. Bamford won't stay fit all season and we can lay it all on. Yeah, exactly. This is the point I'm making. And it's for me, at 10 to 15 million, it's risk-free because he has proved he can play in the Premier League and scores goals in the Premier League. As we factored in, you know, he's not scored that many, but it's rock hard to score goals in this division. Only 2 players got more than 20 in their world class in Salah and Son. And even those that got over 10, you're talking, or someone said 15, you're talking De Bruyne, you're talking Ronaldo, you're talking Harry Kane. Just players that Leeds United are just nowhere near close to. I understand it'd be underwhelming for a lot of people. I do understand that. I'm under no illusions. But I think it'd be a decent signing. I do. Listen, we've done about 40 minutes over. John Shea sitting in a tree, Kissing, says Solomon. I don't care, bro. If he comes in the door, he'll prove a lot of people wrong. I think he'd prove a lot of people wrong. Also, just to finish as well, Joel Robles, goalkeeper Joel Robles is reportedly set to complete his move to Leeds today. He's on a free. His wages will be next to nothing. I think he's got a 1 year deal at Ellen Road, so that one will come in. Do you know what? I'm going to canvass the Premier League show's opinion tonight on Shay Adams. Jody Stokes says, what is happening with Kalimuendo? I don't know, mate. Like, we've spoken about him. All that stuff that came out over the weekend that Leeds United were close to a deal and that I had a few people messaging me from it. The sources that it's come from are not great. It's just rehashing the same story. I'm not convinced. If Cali came in, I'd be buzzing and I may be proved wrong. But the fact Leeds United haven't pushed the button yet, you know, everything tells you that it's an easy deal to do. They're willing to sell. He'd be willing to move. Leeds United have a good relationship with PSG owners. It's affordable, but we haven't done it. Why? I think, as Rad said, 9/10. Shay Adams could do that. Cody Gakpo would be amazing, but it's 40 million. Andy Toon says, I've heard Winks. I heard that a couple of weeks back, mate, but he was further down the pecking order than your Adams, your Rocker, etc. We need to stay away from Harry Winks. I think we're done in midfield now. I think it's left backs. It's not happening for me. I might be wrong. We might get a loan in, but I don't think it's happening. I don't think any additions are happening by the goalkeeper. You know my thoughts on that after the Radrazani interview. I don't think we'll do all. The only way we'll do something is if we play poorly and Bamford doesn't score. But Bamford was close to a goal at the weekend with the header. I thought Bamford played really, really well. He's not quite 100%, but you can see when he gets to 100%, he'll get goals. I think Bamford's in with a chance of the England squad. It all depends on if Callum Wilson can stay fit. If Callum Wilson weren't made of biscuits, he's in there ahead of anybody, apart from Harry Kane, of course. But if he breaks down, it's there for Bamford. Obviously, DCL's out for 6 weeks. I don't think he'll make the World Cup. If Bamford can do well, it's him or Ollie Watkins. I think Bamford might get in the England squad for the World Cup, which is huge for him, yeah. So I'm buzzing about Bamford. And if he scores and we get through, as I said to you at the start, 5 games in August, one down, we got 3 points. I said if we get 15 points, Firpo comes back and Bamford's doing all right up top, they won't buy anyone because they'll say there's no point in it. They'll say there's no point in spending money when we don't need to. The club showed us that last January when they wanted a midfielder, and then Adam Forshaw came back and they looked at Bielsa and thought, we'll stay up. We don't need to spend out. So we thought they'd learn the lessons in that respect. Big props to them for doing the window they have so far with the 6 signings and all that, and it looks really good. But I still think we're light in left back and centre forward. But I'm sort of resigning myself to the fact that we won't do anything. But if we can, that's why the Shea Adams one as well, because it sort of makes sense. Because he's easy to get. He's been told, don't need you. You can move 10 to 15 million. We wanted him before to replace Nketiah. We tried to get Nketiah this window. Maybe we go back to Shea later on in the end of the window, for example. Let's say Nottingham Forest haven't got it. Southampton might say, look, take him on a loan with a view to a permanent at this amount. There's all these different factors. What I will say, though, for the club, if something exceptional comes available like Rafinha did, they will do it. I'm not saying, I don't think they will not do anything. But, yeah, it'll only be in exceptional circumstances, I think. But we'll wait and see. Listen, thank you as always for watching the Just Joe Football Show. If you're about at 9 o'clock, I'll be doing a Premier League review show, looking at Leeds United game and all the other games, laughing at Man United, of course. Oh, I forgot a super chat there from my good man Smudge. 1 second. He says, morning, Joe. The Shea Adams of the world are the fit we are looking for. No wrong with it, mate. Agreed, mate. Agreed. It's nice to see many people changing their opinions. But we'll see how we get on. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, 91 Leeds. Ollie is Simon Riches, Stephen Underwood. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to probably have a nana nap now, and I'll see you at 9 o'clock. Peace.